All during the financial advisor's presentation on investment options, Laura repeatedly tried, to no avail, to blank Donovan of his positive impression of the speaker's motives. Donovan, however, was blank in his convictions. So there's actually not too much that we have to go on here in this text completion. But there are a few things. First off, we have to no avail. When something's to no avail, it doesn't really work. So we have Laura here. She's trying to do something, but it's not working. And what is she trying to do with Donovan? Well, Donovan here has a positive impression of the speaker's motives. So what could she try to be doing? Well, maybe you're not quite sure if this is positive or negative. Maybe it's still kind of up in the air. Is she trying to tell him that it's a positive thing or a negative thing? Well, let's assume she's trying to tell him, hey, this financial advisor is a good guy. But why would she be doing that? Because we've underlined positive impression. That's Donovan. That's what Donovan already thinks. Let's try negative though. What if Laura believes this financial advisor is a fraud, a charlatan? She would be trying to convince Donovan or try to get Donovan to get rid of his positive impression, to think differently. So we need a word that means you want to sway someone away from their certain course of thinking. So let's go through the first blank. Let's go down here. And we have convince. I'm starting here at the bottom. Well, we're not convincing someone of his positive impression, or Laura's not convincing Donovan. Rather, she wants to show Donovan that he's wrong. She's kind of warning him. What about advise? Do we advise someone of their positive impression? No. And then we have this word disabuse, which is a hard one. It definitely comes up on the GRE, but usually at the higher levels. Why? Well, abuse sounds like someone's being abused. What does disabuse mean? Is it good? Is it bad? We don't really know. And we're going for a word here that is negative in the sense of we don't want Donovan to have a positive impression, but we're trying to sway him. We're trying to sway him from that positive impression. And so therefore, if you look at sway, sway itself is not necessarily a negative word, but we only have this disabuse, and I'm going to come back to that in a moment. So you go to the second blank. So Donovan, however, was blank in his convictions. Because of this, however, and because of this to no avail, we can see that Donovan did not change his mind. He was steady and constant in his convictions. To be ambivalent is to be wishy-washy, to have conflicted emotions. So here he's positive. He's definitely not ambivalent. Stalwart. If you're stalwart, you're sort of loyal in terms of a friend. You stand by someone's side. Well, we're not necessarily saying he's stalwart or loyal in his convictions, but he's constant or steady, which is what steadfast means. So we got that answer choice, and now we can go back to the first blank, where we have disabuse. And disabuse means to lead someone from a negative way in thinking, to sway someone from wrongdoing or wrong thinking. And of course, his wrong thinking here is to have a positive impression of someone who clearly is a fraud. And so we have disabuse, and now we can move on.